We'll also look at how to transfer information from your 22 book to, or excuse me, your 23 book to this year's account. So you will be muted during this presentation. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat bar and I will address those at the end. So first of all, I do have our screen set on the memorybook.com website. I like to start here because if you haven't already, from here you can pick out cover designs. You can also contact your rep. You can contact technical support, and there's also an online pay option that you can set up for your school. We also this year have our Character Builder program that is a free option for schools to implement character education into their yearbook along with their classrooms, and there are some programs that teachers may want to implement into their lessons. So if you have not bookmarked this site, I encourage you to do that. So from here, I'm clicking on Memory Book Online Login. At this point, you do want to know your school job number. If you don't have that, you do want to reach out to your customer service rep, um, and they can provide that for you. If you forgot it, of course, there's a link here that can be emailed to you. Now, when you go into the program, first of all, I do have a demo account here, so yours should look very similar, but there may be a few variations. The first thing you're seeing is what we call the dashboard. It will tell you how many pages are assigned to your book. Now, you will see currently how many pages are in progress. If you have completed any, it's pretty self-explanatory. Um, Also here, you can see how many tagged images you have. You can see I jumped to the right. Now in the middle, there's upcoming events and tasks. These are both options that I think are underrepresented here, and I think as an advisor, you would utilize those if you um, recognize the importance that they can offer. First of all, I'm just going to click on upcoming events and wait for that to load. You'll notice upcoming events and tasks both open in the same window. So that's kind of universal how they work. First of all, you can come to the plus sign and you can click and set up an event for maybe this spring for your yearbook. Assign the date, even assign it a color and a brief description. It's something that you would want covered in your yearbook that you want to make sure is not missed or overlooked. And then you would simply click on add. And the same thing for a task. You can add the plus sign, click on the plus, assign a task to a yearbook staffer, and again, you'll have to have your people listed in your for yearbook staff, and we will cover that here in a little bit. But then you'll assign a due day, and again, it's that simple. Now, I do want to mention that when you assign these, you do not see it immediately. You do have to refresh the screen. That was one thing that I've just have noticed that when you refresh it is when you'll see your new notations available to you. So this is just one method to keep you organized all in one place. The students do also see it, which is very handy, so they can't say they didn't know that there was an event that needed covered. Um, instead of having calendars printed all over your classroom or, trying to remind students, this is just a really nice way to have things organized. Okay, moving along, I'm looking at the plan option here at the top. We're going to go to the page ladder. And I do want to mention you can get to the page ladder also by going to create and page ladder. So if you see it two different places, it's going to take you to the same place. So just rest assured that you're not at the wrong one. They are both the same. We have it 2 times probably because it's very important. So you want to make sure that you do set that up. First of all, the page ladder is really the skeletal structure of your book. It's allowing you to set up the outline and how you want everything to be laid out in order for your book. A lot of times, people have an idea of how many pages their book is, and an understanding of how many classrooms, a sports section, and so on. But you need also the specifics. In this year's ladder design, over to the left, we have sections and we have topics, and that's going to allow you to do this. If you go to sections, think of that as big picture. You can see that I have already created like a section for clubs, a sports section, a student portrait section. To create those, I simply click up here in this gray box where it says Add Section. So I can maybe say elementary, and then I can hit enter. Whoops, sorry, elementary. And when I hit the plus sign, enter didn't confirm it, the plus sign does. Notice it popped that topic down here in the bottom. So if I want to assign that section to some pages, I can simply hold my mouse over it and drag over. You can drag to one page at a time or put it in the middle of the two pages, and it activated right here at the top where it's in black now. It says elementary. So that means this is an elementary section, and I can continually do that, so I can quickly see that I have 4 elementary pages right now. So if I look to the left, it tells me how many I have done for elementary. So you don't have to try to flip through pages, seeing how many you've counted. So again, this is big picture when you're looking at sections. Now topics, same concept, but you're looking at more specific. So topics breaks it down. So you've got your elementary. Well, now we need to look at grades. So you can again type them in just like we did before, or they do have smart topics. Smart topics, if you click here, these are commonly used topics or headlines that you may want. You can click on any of these options. When you do that, it will put them in here. It does insert them automatically, showing that is something you want to use. So again, that just expedites the feature. So with that in mind, if I know that I need a second grade classroom, I'm just going to drag it here. I'll put it here. So I have now 2 second grade classrooms. Maybe I want 1 third grade classroom, 1 fourth grade classroom, and let's say I need 2 fifth grade classrooms. So I can again quickly look over here to the left, and on these numbers, I can see how many of each grade that I have placed on pages. Knowing that you're busy, you are more likely to know off the top of your head how many teachers or how many classrooms you have per grade, and it's hard to visualize that. So this makes it a little bit easier just to get this laid out. It may seem like it's time consuming at the beginning, but once this is done, you can easily, hang on to this, what we call page ladder design, and use it from year to year if you're happy with it. But it can be modified. Even if you push it forward to the next year and then you want to just edit a few things, maybe you don't have anybody retiring, there's no dedication or something like that, little changes can always be made. So hopefully that works out for you. I do want to show you a few of the buttons. First of all, they have up here at the top of each of the little pages, you can lock an individual page. Maybe you're done with it but not ready to submit. You can lock and then unlock a page. The ghost feature, what this allows you to do is to hide it from anybody that is not assigned to that page. So maybe you have a staffer that's a senior and you're doing some dedication or ad pages for seniors and you don't want them to see it. This is the best option. So it allows them to still go into the program, see things, but they won't see any part of this design. It's kind of just a great option for that. You can, of course, still print your individual pages. Um, Now, if there's anything that you want to do to multiple pages, you can click this little checkbox that allows you to do the same task to multiple at a time. You can also select all up here. Again, I'm always hesitant because I forget to uncheck it, and then I'm doing things by mistake to all of the pages. So just keep that in mind. You can also filter. You can filter by staff member once you have them assigned. You can, which pages are assigned to each student. You can filter by sections once they're assigned. You can filter by topic, however you want to filter. It's whatever works for you. You can also print this page ladder. When you print the page ladder, it just will give you um, an easy handout that you can take with you, or maybe you want to post it around your room so people can quickly see it of who's doing what. Sometimes we need visuals. But again, this page ladder is very user-friendly for you to count things with. I know sometimes it looks intimidating to the left, but it really isn't once you start using it. I mentioned staff members. You can click on staff, and once you have your staff set up in the program, you can simply take their names and drag them over, and it will show who's assigned to the page here below. And like I said, I will show you how to assign or add staff members to your yearbook here in a few moments. Okay, so that was the page ladder. And while we're talking about staff, I'm going to come over to plan and then the staff option. As you can see here, you can go to add staff, and you would simply type in the first name and last name, and you would type in a username. Personally, I would use a username and password that has been assigned by your school for the students to log into computers and just stay consistent with that. Um, but you can choose something else if you want to. I just know that students have a hard time remembering any of their passwords and logins, so it's best for to them to have a minimal number. But if you choose something, you may want to keep it simple. Also, while in there, I should mention that staff is what the role I would advise giving to them. Obviously, you don't want to make them an advisor. Okay, if that gives them full rights to everything, just like you. You can do editor, but editor allows them to change other people's pages, and that you may not want. Staffer only lets them change pages that they are assigned to. They can see other people's pages, but they are just looking. That's all they can do. They can't move it. They can't, fiddle around with it. Um, I can honestly say I've never had a business manager. I was the business manager as an advisor myself, so I mean, I don't know about your schools, but most small schools don't have that luxury. But um, I don't think it really gives too many extra rights, honestly, in that regard. And again, you can set up a co-advisor in there too. The one thing you want to make sure you don't do is don't delete yourself as an advisor. Don't do that. But if you did by mistake, just contact our customer support and they can help you out on that. Um, Next, we have fonts. First of all, the yearbook program has a lot of fonts available to you. These all show up as AYT fonts. Um, if you aren't available to, or I mean, if you would like to see an available poster of what these look like, you should find this in your yearbook guide that's been mailed out to you. If you did not receive one for any reason, again, please reach out to your customer service rep. They can get that mailed out to you. But in those guidebooks, we have pages and pages of what all of these look like. Um, Otherwise, you kind of have to go through and you turn them on and or click on them, and that's not fun to click them on. But basically, to turn on a font, you click on it to make it active, and you turn it off, to make it deactive. I mean, it really is that simple. When you do this, it makes it available to all the students that are using your yearbook program. So you as the advisor get to dictate what fonts you want used in the yearbook that year. I would not advise having all of them turned on. That's way too much, way too many. We suggest maybe by yourself or as a staff, sit down and try to decide which fonts you think best fit your theme for the school year, and then activate those. And when you do that, again, it makes it available for the students to see. You do not need to install anything extra on computers. These are all web-based. With that in mind, what that allows you to do, let me turn on a few different ones. You can then create styles. You can come directly here to styles, or I can go to plan and styles. Either way, a style gives you the opportunity to create a pre-formatted look to your headlines and maybe your body captions, your student names for a level of consistency throughout the book. So your students aren't, typing things in one font and one font size and you're doing something else that you wanted and you have to go back and clean it up. You want consistency through the book. So a style is going to give you that luxury. By clicking here, you can say that you want all body type. Whoops. Let me click here. So body copy, and just pick what you would want. And it's only going to show you, I think, what you have activated. And then you would pick what font size you want. And then, of course, the attribute is saying it's only available in normal, meaning like normal, bold, or italic. And then you hit save, and it's very small, I know, on my screen, but it will show up here. So when the students go to add a text box, it's going to ask them, are they adding a headline? Are they adding body copy? What are they adding? And it's going to pop in basically this. It's going to pop in these options that you've predefined for them. Now, can they change it? Yes, yes, they can. You can always override and still be creative with things, but this at least gives them that starting point. So it's the first option they have to choose from. Makes it again nice, and it saves you on some questions of, what are these all supposed to look like? Um, Next we have ReplayIt. The ReplayIt feature. This is a wonderful feature that allows you to utilize images that have been taken by community members, other students, and they can submit them to you online. So first of all, to activate this, you want to go to this option and you want to turn on the date. You can use a current date, and you want to activate when you want it to end. Normally we put like a couple days after school gets out because you want to include graduation, maybe end of the year parties or something like that. The number you probably don't need to change. But what it does is it will provide this link that you can copy and paste on a school website. You can also create a flyer from this link here that's customized with your link on it that you can then print if you choose to. I honestly don't know how it works with QR codes. I know a lot of schools are doing that now. I have not tried that, but maybe one of our tech people could tell you more specifically on that. But I do know that the link is customized to your school. Um, the beauty of this is that the students, even in your class or on your yearbook staff, do not see these images as being available until you approve them. So to approve them, you would go to Create, Image Library, and you have a button up here called Inbox ReplayIt. And this is where all submitted photos will show up for your approval. And pending your approval, you could then drag them to whatever category you feel like they need to be in. And if you don't want them, you don't feel like it's appropriate, then delete. That simple. And it won't get used. Again, that's the nice thing is nobody sees them unless you approve it. Um, now, I do want to show you what it does look like from the parent end. Um, let me do that real quick. It bounces me out of the program because it thinks I'm a parent once I do that. So I try to do it last. um, when you go into it, okay, so this is what a parent would see. When they go into it, it asks them to choose a file. And let me see. Let me find a picture. Pictures, pictures, pictures. Surely I've got pictures out here somewhere. There we go. I'm just clicking on some clip art here. And they're immediately asked what their email, and they're asked to provide their first name and last name. They're asked to provide who is in the image, first and last name, and a grade. So that's basically tagging the picture for you at that time in a brief description. And they have to accept the terms and conditions and then upload the chosen image. It's very quick and easy for them. They can do several pictures at a time. It does accept multiple formats. The HEIC is from the iPhone. So again, people can do this directly from their phone. So it's very user friendly. Um, Again, at this point, it bounces me out, but I wanted you to see that it does come directly to your ReplayIt folder for your approval at that time. Now, another option I want to mention to you is your school pictures. Most of you should have already had your school pictures taken by this time of the year. If not, you may be waiting for spring pictures. Um, when you get your pictures from your school photographer, you will either get a physical CD or you're going to get a link that has those images of everybody on that. And there's also a file that comes with that called the index, where the photographer has got the students' names and grades in that file. Please don't mess with please don't mess with that file. You can simply send that file to us free of charge. You can email it to our customer support team and they will upload those images for you. You simply tell us if you want the images to be sorted by grade, or do you want them sorted by classrooms, teacher. Elementary may want them sorted that way. As you can see, I have like by a teacher name and grade, and then we upload those for you to the program, and you would see them here under portraits. So to get to those, I went to create, image library, and portrait. So the beauty of that is it lets you flow in the student pictures within seconds. I mean, they are in with their names. If you have to undo something, you just hit reset. It takes everybody out for that page, and you can then reset it again. I mean, it is such a time saver. You can change names really easy. Again, it's a very quick process that is done in a separate course or separate webinar, so I won't show you too much of it today, but I can't stress how important that is to get those files to us with the index if you are interested in using that feature. A lot of people think they are doing a favor by renaming things. That doesn't help because actually whatever the photographer has done, it is set up as an index file to read the image along with whatever order the students were photographed. So it's important to keep that consistency there. Um, at this time, I am going to open up the chats for some questions if I can answer any. So if you have any, feel free to type those in. Kind of quiet out there. Okay. Well, if nobody has any questions, I do want to thank you for taking the time to joining us today. Um, Hopefully this will help you feel more comfortable getting off to a good start in producing your yearbook. I appreciate all of your time. Remember to try to get those yearbook image links to us, and we will get those pictures uploaded probably about 2 days. It's normally really fast. Be sure to be on the lookout for future webinars that will help you use more tips and tricks in the program. Thank you.